Hello, welcome to my cake kitchen. I am Gladys. If you're seeing me for the first time, welcome. I love cake, and over here I make simple, informative tutorials to help you navigate baking and decorating easily. Today we are going to be covering our cake. This cake you see right here in buttercream. It's a series of 3 cakes that we started. The first and second sections of these tutorials are already up in the live sessions. You can check out in the live library. We crumb coated the cake. They were imperfect cakes that I put together to kind of show you the processes in tidying up a cake, leveling it up, and then stacking it together. So in this tutorial we are going to finish this cake, cover it in buttercream, and then pipe some simple basic details on it. This tutorial is completely beginner friendly. Of course, there are some tips and tricks and a bit of knowledge, but as always I say here, practice, 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 because practice makes progress. And so that's what we're going to be doing. The hope is to kind of turn these into small mini Valentine themed cakes, but the decorations we're going to be applying are so adaptable and so beginner friendly. You can swap it from just a Valentine theme to any theme, from birthday to celebration cakes to any of the cakes. So if you're a beginner who is looking for a tutorial to help you level up your skill in any way, you're welcome. I won't talk you too much into it. Let's get right in. And if you're in the chat, I think I can't see the chat at all. I don't know. Okay. I don't think there is any chat happening here. What am I missing? Let's see the live chat. Is there anything happening in the live chat? Let's see. I can't. Is it me? I can't see the live chat. Let's see if I can get it. Okay. Okay, I can't see the live chat at all. So if you are in the chat, just say hello. Let me see you. I can't, for some reason, I can't see it. I don't know. I don't want to spend all my time chasing up the live chat. So we are just going to dive right in. I am going to trim the top here. If you're a beginner, trimming the top like this, it's a clean top for you. As you can see, it's level and very clean and sharp. You want to dip your knife in warm water. It will always guarantee that good look for you. And then all I'm doing is I'm just cleaning the rest up. Okay, Lollipop is in the chat, so clearly it wasn't me going a bit nuts about the chat. Now what we're going to do is we're going to transfer our cake. We're going to transfer the cake onto a different board, and I'm just going to move that away, and we're going to lift this quickly. If you're a beginner, perhaps the best way to do this, I will say to you, 1 second. All right. Okay. I'm just going to move this slightly so that it kind of sits well, and then I will move this again onto a fully formed cake board, because that should help. Now that we are all set, you want to make sure your cake is centered. As you can see, the cake is not perfect. We are not done yet. What we want to do is get some buttercream. I woke up, I whipped the buttercream, I left it to set. So let's see how that all works out. As always, if you want to spread your buttercream with ease, dip your spatula in warm water. Okay. This is going to be slightly problematic for me because I want the broader work surface, which is the larger board, so that I can have some control. But as you can see, it is already giving me problems by sliding off. You can prevent the sliding by using a non-slip mat. And you put as much buttercream as you need on it, because you're going to take it all off again. So now that we have slobbered our cake in buttercream, let's get to the top, which here. Okay, now that is done, and we're going to try and take it on the side. You take it slowly, no rush. And as you can see, there are imperfections and air pockets coming through over there. Don't be in a rush to correct that now, because there will be enough time to do all of that. And the scraping, for buttercream, I always say buttercream just requires a bit of patience. So you don't have to do anything. I see there are beginners who say they always struggle with the scraping. So let me see if I can break the motion down in a way that may be helpful. I think I saw a very good cake educator explaining this in the best way that I think will make it understandable. You want to think of your buttercream consistency as spreadable butter, soft spreadable butter on your toast, the way it glides easily. That's the consistency of the butter, not melted, not too hard. And so with that consistency and the warmth of a stainless steel as this, which is what I'm going to use, you set it at a 45-degree angle, right? And all you're doing is turning the cake into the scraper. As the scraper moves around, you're turning the cake. So if you move the action is such that if you are moving the scraper without moving the cake around, you're not doing anything, you're just scraping the buttercream off. But whilst the action is meant to scrape the buttercream off, it's not the buttercream itself you're scraping off entirely. What you're trying to scrape off is the excess. And so the action is gradually forming the shape of the cake. And as you can see, even with the imperfection, we have a beautifully nicely shaped round cake here. This is a 5-inch cake in diameter. So again, this goes. Yeah. Now, if you have more air pockets than you think, you can go back like this and then fill this part up. And over here, there's a bit more. Instead of having to pour warm water over the scraper all the time, one thing you can also do is just get yourself a side of hot water. That scrapes easily. Okay. Now you can see there are still like imperfections over here. So I'm going to go back and add a little bit of buttercream round there. Okay, and then again we are going to do exactly what we did. Now if you wonder what I do with the how I cope with the warm water when I have like lots of cake to do, I just put like a warm plate, a warm heating plate, and then I place a saucepan, and then it boils my water, and I put all my metal tools in there to work with. But that seems a bit too much for when I am doing something as little as this. So I think we've got the shape of the cake already. I just want to be able to correct this part. If I shudder to say, if I was using ganache, I won't have much of this problem, because buttercream and its smoothness, especially American buttercream, it varies. But if you're a beginner and you've been able to get the shape and color of a cake and this result, that will be way better than expected. So don't be too hard on yourself, okay? With all the experience I have, I still struggle with buttercream cakes, because the consistency of buttercream and the smoothness on a cake is slightly questionable. So there you have it. We have a 5-inch cake. I'm going to boil the water again so I can get a last good scrape around it, and I'll leave this to set. And whilst this is setting, just want to make sure I'm on screen. Whilst this is setting, we can move on to leveling the cakes we baked yesterday, because we have till about 1:15 today. So if you're talking to me in the chat and I'm not talking back, forgive me. I'm not ignoring you at all. We just have to focus on what we're doing right now so that we can get it done. But this is a 5-inch cake. Just what I don't like mini cakes. I don't like them, because the smallest cake size I will do is a 5-inch, which is what you're seeing. Who likes small cakes like these mini cakes? I find mini cakes a bit hard to work with. Okay, let's okay, there you go. I've got it. I've got it. Am I crazy, or I'm obsessing too much about how perfect it should be? Because this is really annoying me. Okay. You see, the decorator's dilemma. Know when to stop. And clearly, I struggle to know when to stop. I'm going to leave it now. I'm going to leave it as is, because there is still like texture over here. But I'm going to let this set completely, and then we'll come back, we'll fix that, and then we'll see if we can decorate this cake. But what do you think? Is that a good job? I know the lighting. Lollipop says, cakes are a lot of effort. My husband wants a Victoria sponge cake this year. I said I'll buy it at Morrison's this year. So I can't be bothered. Dawn says, Gladys, it might be a small cake, but you will need a bloody big plate. Better go for cheese and crackers, isn't it? Dawn, I love that. Dawn says it might be a small cake, but you need a bloody big plate for a slice of that. Yeah. I mean, when we finish, we might be able to, when we do the decoration and all that, it serves its purpose. We might just cut into it so that we can tell how many slices exactly we can get from it. So, yeah. But, Steph, thank you. Steph says it looks completely perfect. I hope I feel that way because I can see the imperfections. But you see, I always encourage you to kind of like not aim for perfection, aim for progress. And with where my feelings are about buttercream cakes, this is good work, okay? This is completely good work. So we're going to leave this completely to chill in the fridge whilst we level our other cakes. Yeah, and then if we are able to do the decorations on this one, great. If we're not, look, I'll be back tomorrow. It's Saturday. I'm sure you'll see more of me because we still have to do past this cake anyway. So let's go put this in the refrigerator and then come back and get on to our next lot. Let me show you the next lot. There you go. So okay, right, so our cake is now in the fridge. Let's move on to our next lot. I don't think I've posted the recipe details, but I have made some posts about it already that you can see. This is truly my life of cakes in a small kitchen. when you can't think of a place to put the cake. All right, there you go. My daughter asked for, this is Lollipop. My daughter asked for a cupcake pull apart for her birthday, so should be so easy. She just wants the sky with clouds. Ooh, that should be fun. Okay, we got our cake. I really didn't want to level these ones. Oh, Dawn, you haven't heard a cupcake pull apart. It's cupcakes that are arranged to make like a cake, and it's decorated, and when you see it you think it's sort of a sheet cake. Meanwhile it's a cupcake, a set of cupcakes that have been put together. So think about cupcakes made into the form of a sheet cake, if you like, and then decorated accordingly. I like it, right, when I bake a cake and then I come back to work on the cake for you to see. It's almost like a wholesome moment where we bake the cake, you get to see it, its life cycle, if you like. So yeah, we baked these cakes yesterday. Look at how, look, it's falling apart because it's very soft, it's tender. I love this cake. But then again, I love any cake. Do I? We'll see. I think I will be snacking. I'll be snacking on the bits of this cake. People, I know you are my people, and sometimes you just mind your business and talk about cake with me, and that's all you do, which is fine. But you know what I'm like. I sometimes like to go on the deep end and look for random things. Who is following the Justin and Blake drama. Who is following up on it? Because that stuff has gotten crazy. But let's focus on a cake for now. Lasso keeps talking about chunky Lollipop says not really follow that. Look, if you are not following that mess, you are not missing out on anything. But it kind of makes for good conversation, okay? And when I think about it in the biblical sense, the story of Mordecai and Haman comes to mind. Who knows the story of Mordecai and Haman? We are trimming the top just to get the cake level. Oh, look at how delicate this sponge is. Who has read their Bible and remembers the story of Mordecai and Haman? Look. This cake is good, even if I say so myself. Maybe I'm hungry. God. Oh, this scarf is touching my ear. And I feel like, oh, I can't tell you what's happening to me. My ear feels like it's itching and I've got this sweet thing in my mouth. Feels like an overwhelm of my senses. Oh, people. Okay, the story of Mordecai and Haman is in Esther, the book of Esther. And without being too religious about it, there's a moral lesson in your attempt to bury someone. You better be careful. Perhaps plan for your own demise along the way. Because sometimes the effort to bury another person may just come back to you. So you know what they say? Perhaps if you try to bury someone, dig 2 holes so that you can go in the other one. That's the essence, the summary, moral lesson surrounding the story of Mordecai and Haman. Because in the story of Mordecai and Haman, Mordecai is it the uncle? Is a relative of Esther. And he brings Esther up. Esther ends up in this country that she is a foreigner in, but marries the king. And if you know the story of Esther, it was this. It's a story of undeserved grace and mercy, if you like, of a foreigner who marries a king, and Haman, who has such contempt for Mordecai because Mordecai is a Jew. And Haman has such contempt for Mordecai because Mordecai will not worship him. This is just a highlighted summary of the story, the basics of it. So Mordecai, who is supposed to be a powerful man in the king's court, goes out of his way to plot. And I mean plot and plot to the point where Mordecai, who is a relative of Esther, the queen, her people are at risk of being extinct, as in they are going to be killed away, if you like. But by some stroke of faith and good conscience, the story turns around, and the gallows that Haman builds for the hanging of Mordecai, he ends up being hanged on it. So like I said, the moral of the story is when you're going after somebody, the effort, time, and intention, the manipulating to kind of get someone or people to turn against another person, whether they deserve it or not, comes with the risk that you will be caught in your own actions. And that's what I see with this story of Blake and Justin, because when it started, I remember being caught up in the fun and drama of it and the back and forthness of it, and then I kind of checked out. But the story has remained consistent over the year. It's been a whole year since this nonsense has been going on. And when you look at the details, right, when you go to the heart of it, it is, you can see now whether he did what he was accused of or not. That's a whole different conversation that the courts will have to decide on. So I have no opinion on that. What I do have an opinion on, though, is what power and money and unguarded influence can do. And when you look at all the evidence, I can tell you, if you trust me, I can tell you, Blake and Ryan, what is his name again? Ryan somebody, because he confuses me with Ryan Seacrest, and it's not that, it's Ryan Reynolds. Blake and Ryan had such unfettered, unguarded, and just limitless amount of power. Imagine emailing people like Anna Wintour, the heads of Sony, over like petty grievances about how you feel about another person. And it's not like this person went out of their way to do anything to you, okay? You didn't like them. You didn't believe that the position they occupy in your eyes is deserved. So imagine you sitting there typing like novel level scripts as email to the heads of institutions who have the ability to make or break someone's life and reputation. The whole thing is just sad. The sadness of it is that I just feel, I know I'm distracted. If you've been here, you know I can't do both. I'm either yapping or I'm doing that. Okay, so stay with me. I can't do both. The sad part is that we don't care. And that is sad, including me. This is just salacious gossip for me to kind of share with you and then move on about my life. But if you look at it and look at it closely, this is why we are in the situation we are in politically. And that man over there, the orange one, I have nothing to do about his politics. But if you look at what the state of the world is, that's what power does. Like, and we, the people, the little people here, we don't care. We are either distracted by it or we are caught up in the overwhelm of frenzy that this is meant to whip for us. So on social media, this story is a wash and everyone has a take, including me. But the truth is, if we took a stand and we looked at how money and power behaves, it is not that we are in this state of the world we're in. And sadly, it's not going to get better. That's all. Let me just go on and make a cake. That's all. Kabira, what should I tell you, my dear? Oh, if you thought, yeah, the Amber Ted gossip was funny. The thing is, you could see with the Amber Ted gossip that both of them were just as bad as each other, okay? And he wasn't guiltless. If you could think for yourself, all you will see was a woman who was trying to weaponize her womanhood against a man. That's all. But they were just as bad as each other. The abuse was happening on both sides. So I have nothing to say about them. But here, the truth is, a man's reputation was literally being crushed by a woman who just woke up one day and decided to be a spoiled bee. That's all. She woke up one day and she thought, you know what? I don't like this and I have the power to ruin it. And boy, the effort she went to ruin it, oh my God, that's just pure evil. And if any of us has any power to influence the behavior and actions of these people, we should make our money and our investment count. It seems like a long time ago when people were canceling Disney, and then Disney were forced to kind of do a run back. When they canceled that comedian, I forgot what his name was, but something happened and everybody was up in arms. People were canceling their subscriptions. People were canceling their Disney holiday, and the Disney ran real quick. And it reinstated the man, and the whole thing has moved on. That is the power of our voice. Our voice, as in speaking, is not enough anymore. These people are occupying these positions because we give them the power. And how do we do that? We do that by patronizing the merchandise that they put across. Blake as a person is not Blake anymore. She is a business. And her reputation and likability factor is what we buy into. So when she and her husband are putting up business stuff like the hair care products and the gin, when the customer takes a stand and says, my values are not aligned with this business, you know, I'm not buying, and you don't buy, and the next person doesn't buy, and then their stocks start plummeting, they will be forced to kind of reconsider these issue actions that they run around and do. But you see, most of us don't even care anymore, because the truth is, those of us who would make that change can't even, I don't even know what Blake's hair care product is. I don't know, because I have black person's hair. I don't think her product is made for me. Until this whole thing happened, I didn't know anything about her. I wasn't a girl who watched Gossip Girl. It is very foreign to me. So I am probably one of the people who she would never have. I don't fall into her target group of people, let's just say. And am I the only person who hasn't seen the movie, whatever the husband made over there? I don't like movies. I don't watch them. So Ryan making a movie and Disney getting money, people, all I'm saying is that we still have some power to speak. It doesn't have to be verbal. That's all. Now let me go make my cake. Amber Turd. That was hilarious. When she's like, is it the dog something about the bee? Okay. Oh, look. The cake is so yum. Look at the grain of the crumb. Look how moist it still looks. The chunky bits in here are the apple, but I chopped them so fine that you won't see them. It is so good. Anyway, that is my lunch sorted and my blood sugar levels up. Rocketing to the sky numbers, but it's okay. A little bit of cake never hurt nobody. Okay. If you don't like cake, look away now. This is some good cake. going to have to eat a cookie. Lollipop. Sometimes a girl just gotta eat the things she wants to eat and just move her life along. Okay, so eat a cookie if you have to. I am just saving my crumbs. I am just literally saving these crumbs for when you have a good cake to eat, you will save every crumb. And that is exactly what I'm doing. Hey, exactly. There you go. Crumbs. Don't judge me. The cake is good. I'll eat this over 3 days, okay? It's not overpowering, but it's not like bland vanilla too. Mind you, I don't mind vanilla, but this is a whole, it's like salted caramel sponge, but not overpowering. There you go. Okay, so we have this to flip over and that to go over it. And then we have this to flip over. And that to go over it. Now I'm stuck because of the flavor of the cake. A little part of me really wants to fill it with fresh cream and then cover it in ganache. Just because fresh cream, I can control the sugar, it will be smooth. Because buttercream will make it too sweet. I don't want to overwhelm it. I want to keep the flavor just by itself. And so suddenly I've got like a different consideration to make. But anyway, I am sure whatever I decide, I'll come back and I'll tell you all about this one. In the meantime, let's put that away and I'll clear the work table and I'll go get the other cake back and then we can see if we'll decorate it. Okay, there we are. All right, now let's boil the kettle. And whilst we're at it, let's prep our buttercream. Because when you stir into the buttercream this way, you are popping the egg pockets and air bubbles. So what I'm doing is just trying to get a uniform mix so that I can get a smooth piping, if you like. It's funny what all the things you have to do to get your buttercream right for working with. Okay, there you go. I wonder what those who use royal icing. Oh, it's a lot of work, I imagine. There you go. Then I go get my buttercream back. I mean the cake. Okay, here we are. We are back with the cake. Okay, that's lovely. Now let's trim the top. Okay. Okay, here is my tip to getting great results. Look at how sharp those edges are. If you're a beginner, I keep telling you, this is your tip for sharp edges. Just trim it. And that's it. Look at how clean and sharp that looks. Okay, now let's go and finish it off. Yep. Okay, I'm not doing anything anymore. The temptation will be sometimes you keep going and going until you end up at a place you shouldn't be at. So we have finished. Now I have some piping bags here. Whew, decision, decision, decision. Okay, I think I've gotten the one I want to use, at least for now. I am going to fill this up. It's important I fill this up right, because if you don't, you'll only end up with air pockets and air bubbles. Now I also don't want to overfill it, just so I can have some control over the buttercream. So I don't want to overuse buttercream on this, so I'm going to start from the middle somewhere here. See, oh God, right. Okay. Piping a shell is not as easy as people make it, you know. You've seen me here work on all right. Frankly, I think I like the size of this nozzle compared to my bigger one. The details are cleaner and the proportions are better. Let's see. Okay, that's on the back, so that's fine. No. Dawn, is this the order for tomorrow? No. This is just a Valentine themed mini cake I wanted to make for pre-orders. I know I didn't say, because I really didn't want to say it out loud, because I wanted to avoid the pressure. Because the moment I say it, it's like, okay, now you've got to do it. So these are just mini cakes I am hoping to create for a pre-order sales for Valentine, but I don't even know yet. So I'm going to derive 3 of my simplest shapes and designs, and then get them as Valentine themed, and then we'll see. Okay, there you go. Okay, the proportions are good. I am happy with that so far. Whew. Now let's go for the next one. Okay. 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 Right, we are back here. Now, let's start here. When I tell you I have shaky hands, look at the air pockets. Okay. 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 Right, we've done that. Woo. Now it's the angle here. That is the issue, the angle. Okay. 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 Whew. Do I feel like I'm tired already? Yes, I am. Okay. So. One second. I know you can't see what I'm doing. I'm just piping some details and the angle. Yeah. Okay. Okay. We got it. Okay. And then one last thing. Let me make sure. Okay. 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 Let me see if I have oh, this tool. Can you see what tool I'm missing? I have to order one after this session. I really have to go and order one. I'm not doing anymore. This is too much buttercream on a cake already, as far as I know, for someone who doesn't really like buttercreams on cakes. Now, that's a fairly, imagine I just need a few Valentine themed toppers or inscription on there, and yeah, that's a small mini cake for Valentine's. That's, yep, I need tweezers. Thank you, Lollipop. Ooh, not bad for somebody who actually hates buttercream cakes and hates using buttercream. What do we think? Let's rate the cake. Let's rate the cake. Let me see if I can get, oh no, I won't be able to get the ribbons on it. I'll sort the ribbons and then we'll put it on that, and that will be it. So that will be, how much will you pay for this cake, like realistically? Oh, Lollipop. Now I feel like my head is going to like literally burst because I feel so happy with my little work over here. Realistically, I need you here. I need you here. Stay with me, because we are the only 10 people in the chat, and it's not, if I had 10 people and all of you ordered a small cake like this, I will be in business. So never ever look down at small beginnings. So thank you, Anthony. Anthony is here. Anthony said beautiful. Anthony, thank you, our friend. Thank you. Now, here's a question. I don't know the price though. No, I didn't ask you for a price. I'm like, how much would you pay for a cake like this? Considering you don't want to make a cake this for the little girl, and you want to just make the cupcake she asked for. If I said, okay, I'm making you a cake this size, forget it's Valentine's Day next month, right? This can still be a sizable cake for a birthday or any occasion you wish. Don't forget, we haven't forgotten the ribbons, but the ribbons will come later. Don't worry, I'll put the ribbons and then we'll decorate it with the Valentine theme. How much? You are my people. You know what? When I see these buttercream cakes, they look pretty, and then I realize they go against everything I want on a cake. This is too much buttercream. I agree, but you see, sometimes you're gonna have to go along to get along. It's okay. Let me give you a guidance here. It's a 5-inch cake standing at 5 inches tall. It has a minimum servings of about 8 and a maximum servings of 12. If you go for party style cakes, okay, like just a fairly nice dessert style cake, you have about 10 to 12 servings here. So how much will you pay for this cake? Anthony says $85 US. Lollipop says £100 or slightly more. Dawn says 110. Ooh, Dawn, you're gonna have, people are going to chase me out of business if I showed up on the internet streets and told them this is £110. They will be like, girl. The reason why I don't make cakes like this, okay? I don't. I'll tell you why. And the reason is simple. There is a lot of saturation of this style of cakes, which has led to a price drive down of these cakes. When I go on the internet, right, people are giving this cake, like this is a 5-inch, but it's not too far from a 4-inch. And I've got to tell you, there are people who decorate them beautifully. You know, my skill is not in buttercream piping, so I'm not even mad, okay? But I see some very intricate, polished designs and the colors and the mix of them. And then they're like, it's a bento style with what? 2 cupcakes for £40. And I'm scratching my head and I'm thinking, how is this £40? Like, but then again, I am not like one of those people who is in the comment section of your average baker, because I can see how this is £40 for somebody. You know why? Because if you have a commercial style oven and you are baking like large portions of butter at the same time. You are cutting down on time in a way that is different from your average home baker. So granted, if I whipped up all the butter in these two plus the other, I technically have three mixers. If I whipped it up, if I planned it out, shopped for the ingredients, and I was doing like a seasonal sale, this cake you see right here will be exactly 55 pounds. And that is because it is going to go straight into the three mixers to make the butter. I will use the commercial oven. So the baking process for maybe an hour and a half maximum, butter is all done, and you have maybe up to about 4 sets of cakes at the same time. So I can see how those are priced. But the people who price these at 45 pounds, I tell you, they are home bakers. And like I said, I am not one of those people who is into arguing with somebody, but sometimes I kind of feel like people are doing themselves a disservice. But more so, if I was making this for Valentine, like I said, as I am, this 5-inch cake with so much buttercream on it, it will be exactly 55 pounds for a serving of 10 to 12, which kind of is proportionally the exact price of my cakes, because a mini cake to serve 15 or 18 from me has a minimum price of 95 pounds. So if you do the math, it's almost there. So 55 pounds. So what I'm hoping to do though is get the 3 orders, I said three decorations complete, photograph them, and then put them out on a pre-sale. And also, it is also allowing me to advertise to a different set of audience, because people have, if you've not known, as a home baker, one thing I am not good at is selling. I have had the privilege of my customers finding me and my business sustained over time with recommendations. But let me be honest, that doesn't hold anymore. Honestly, it doesn't. And at the moment in 2026, my goal is to optimize a strategic marketing plan. So this is all part of it. So if you're watching this and you want to pick up a nicely frosted cake for 55 pounds, check the contact form and just put on the top Valentine. If this is mostly for UK based audience, but even for UK based audiences, you still have to be able to collect. I cannot put this in the post for you. It's not going to happen. Okay. The postage alone to get like a driver to deliver this to you will be more expensive than the cake itself. So you're going to have to make arrangement to collect it pre-Valentine if you like. But yes, it is exactly 55 pounds for that. And yeah, we'll put the ribbons and then we'll put it up on the pre-sale so that you can click and collect. So Tapita, you were too kind. But most people on the internet is not like you. But it's not because of you. It's also because, like I said, if I like for the Valentine sale, it's a planned it's a planned strategy. So I will be cutting, maximizing, and making sure that my time is well accounted for. So the price reflects everything inclusive and profit. But hopefully, you know what, whatever I do, if I end up with just say 3 orders, as much as I appreciate that, that would still be a loss, because the profits are better if I optimize and structure my time in such a way that I can use the commercial oven. But that only works if you have like an audience getting a few orders in. So it's neither here nor there. Like I said, over the years, I've been in business going like, I've always baked, or I've been baking for 10 years plus now. Like, I'm in my 12th year of baking. The business started formally. It's going on to 7 years. And in the last 7 years, I have never, ever, ever had to advertise or do anything. Now, that's not flex. Your business should be able to survive, okay? The amount of recommendations I have come from the specific price point of the cake and what I do, which is custom based cakes, and the expensive. But The plan of just sitting back and waiting for the customer to find me is insufficient. And I'm just giving you real information about business now. So this is part of like a marketing strategy. And my goal, like, the truth is, I have existed on a spectrum that has left me slightly confused and kind of drawn out. Some bakers just enjoy decorating a cake, which I sincerely do, and they don't enjoy the baking. I love baking. So part of my confusion is, what am I going to do with the loves of my life? I love decorating and I love baking. I love the science of baking. And I love coffee style cakes, genuinely. So if I could find a market for coffee style cakes where there can be pre-orders for just, you don't care for the buttercream, you just want a good cake that is made, but it's not from your regular coffee shop and you can pick up. Is there room for that? Those are things I'm exploring as I am going along. Much of it, I am just trying to edge my way slowly in, because when you're running a business and you want to introduce new features, you have to take it slowly. You have to know your audience. You have to know what the customer really likes and serve them what they like. So I'm just telling you, I don't know yet, but eventually we'll see. Okay. So if you want a Valentine themed cake, you're welcome. That's all. Now let me go and a portion slice for a big cake. Yeah, like, oh, I think it's my church view. Remember the coffee style cakes we make with the cream on top? A slice of that from me, a slice of that from my local coffee shop, right? Which is Dobby's. And Dobby's, the lemon cake. So good. Lemon and passion fruit. That's £4 per slice. And if you're getting that cake from a home baker who has optimized a great recipe, yeah, £4 a slice, 3 slices for a deal of £10. Why wouldn't you? Okay, so it's neither here nor there. But if I wanted to do that, I would have to do that in sections. So say it's a monthly drop and then there's pre-order, so I know who I am baking for. But you know, you're with me here. We will develop this over time. But right now, let's optimize for the pre-sale for Valentine. Dolly is doing Valentine's cake tomorrow, but hers is 2 layers of 4 inches. Whoo! Those 4 inches cake, aren't they tricky to do? The smallest, I was just saying that before you came earlier. I was like, these mini cakes, they look amazing. Dolly, if you don't mind us asking, how much would you charge for your 4-inch 2 layers of cake? Because this stands at, how much would you charge? Because we're talking prices. This is £55, and that's not normally the price of my cakes, if you like. So this cake is standing at exactly 6 inches tall. Okay, it will serve a good sizable serving of up to 12. I've already cut a cake like this up before, so I know it's 8 to 12 depending on the portion sizes, because with the buttercream, the corners, as in this part, will be the smallest. So 8 to 12, somewhere in the middle, 10 if you like. And this is £55. Can you see? Okay, look in the chat, people. You see why I say these cakes, the prices have been driven down. Look, I'm not mad about Dolly wanting to charge £30 for a 4-inch. But the truth is, unless there is more orders for the £30, or she is using that to attract a new set of customers, how are we sustaining a business with that price mark? Dolly, I'm not like targeting your £30. We were talking about pricing, and I was just explaining the intention around it for why this is a 5-inch. Normally mine's like 5-inch cakes, like the custom ones. So if you're getting a custom, the minimum price is £50 for a canvas. You are not, when I cover it in buttercream, and it's like when I wake up and I cover this small cake in buttercream and I hand it to you and it says 15, that's a starting price. And my minimum price for a decorated cake with minimal decorative elements is £95. So this is almost half that serving, which, give or take, is still fair, right? But if I made a whole business from just these, will it sustain? I don't know. It's neither here nor there, but yeah, it looks so much big, but it's a 5-inch cake. You saw me put it together. It's a 5-inch cake and then the 6-inch. So this is 55 pounds and the 6-inch will be 65. But even the 6-inch, I don't intend to make it buttercream piping. I actually just want to go for a red and gold stenciling detail because that's what I do. I love that. And then I'll add some flowers to it and it will still be and then you can add flowers to it just so that, because these are not my style of cakes, these are not, but I also appreciate that sometimes the customer wants something and you have to sell that to them as long as that is not overwhelming your business. So if this goes out to a customer and they love the cake and they stick around, maybe on their very special occasion they will order a custom cake. So sometimes you've got to have a Coca-Cola in your business, not because Coca-Cola will give you the profit, but Coca-Cola gets the customer in the door. It's all part of business strategy and sort of inviting new eyeballs in. So it's neither here nor there. So we'll get it all done with the ribbons and everything. I will post photos up. My website guy is busy at work trying to optimize a few details, including the shop front. So this will end up on the pre-order for you to kind of pre-order if you care, but I will keep you posted. I have a consultation to attend to at 1:30 virtually. So my people, we will talk some more about this, but those cakes behind me will not make themselves. We will still be back here making them. So happy baking. Consider getting a cake for a loved one for Valentine. And if you're far away and you can't make cake, you can't order a cake, order it online. We'll come back and celebrate Valentine right here because my birthday is just a few days short of Valentine. Happy baking. I'll see you on the next one.